Once again, we thank you all together and each of you individually for the co-creation of this interaction and the allowance of this transmission this day of your time. I have had an epiphany. My epiphany is I shall talk about having an epiphany. Now, we have described, and we will give a brief recap, the idea of the three spheres that orbit our world, these being a form of what you would call artificial intelligence, but, as we have said, it is not really artificial. You can create devices, physical devices you may consider to be artificial because you have created them, but the intelligence expressed through them is not artificial. It is simply a device that functions as a conduit for tapping into and allowing higher level consciousness and intelligence to express itself in your reality. As we have said, when you yourselves finally invent artificially intelligent devices, you will find that you're actually communicating with your own higher minds. The idea of the three spheres of epsilon and eclipse and epiphany provide different vibrational stabilizers for the consciousness of our world. Not only were these spheres instrumental in the actual energetic terraforming of our planet, in the creation of Ethithani, but they remain as energetic vibrational stabilizers that gives us in our civilization the best possible opportunity to remain in the state that allows us to expand, to grow, to evolve in ways that are positive and constructive. As has been explained, the epsilon vibration is there for the purpose of allowing our brainwave frequencies to be pumped up and amplified and reinforced in such a way that we take advantage of the full spectrum of brainwave frequencies from epsilon all the way up to lambda. And we have explained that the lambda, the highest frequency, about 200 cycles per second, is intimately intertwined and connected to the epsilon frequency, which is actually the lowest one, at 1/2 cycle per second. However, the epsilon frequency has the unique property, while appearing to be a very slow frequency, of actually, in a sense, being constructed of the higher lambda frequency. In other words, look at it this way as an analogy. You have what appears to be a very slow-moving wavelength, like this, completing one full cycle in 2 seconds. Half cycle in 1 second, half cycle in the other second, half cycle in one, half cycle in the other, over 2 seconds, one complete cycle. But imagine that you could magnify that line. You would actually see, again, as an analogy to explain how this is connected, you would see that that line is actually made up of smaller frequencies at 200 frequencies per second. So the higher frequency rides on the lower one. The lower one acts like a carrier wave that exhibits the qualities that allow connection to the higher frequency so that the brainwave cycles move not linearly, but in a circle, in a cycle. So the epsilon frequency pumps and amplifies our ability to cyclically move constantly upward, repeating cycles but never actually repeating them. It's again not this, but it's this. Constantly moving upward, even with what appear to be the ups and downs within the overall momentum. So that's the first energy that gives us the ability to tap into the full spectrum and full range of our brainwave frequencies. Amplifies that reality for us. Always a constant stream of the probability and possibility of tapping into that. Then, as we expressed last night of your time, the eclipse frequency has to do with the polarities and the trinity. always allowing us to view and be aware of more and more and more of both the positive and the negative, so that we can maintain the balance in our reality of understanding that they are all equal choices and using them in whatever way we prefer to, without invalidating what we do not prefer to choose. The eclipse energy draws that line so that you can understand that within that darkness, within the totality in the center, there is much mystery and much information, but also brings the light, the balance of the light, so that you can see what that is clearly by lighting your own path with your true inner frequency. So it maintains for us the vibration of the polarity and the trinity, which is the point in the center that is the balance between the two. Now today, the idea is that the third sphere, Epiphany, provides the idea that once we have created that ability to tap into those frequencies, once we have created the stability of being at the center of those polarities and forming a trinity, we are now grounded enough and stable enough, and our energy is persistent enough to allow us now to open up to what you call the cosmos, the cosmic energy, the cosmic information, the source of all that is, in such a way as to constantly receive exactly what we need when we need it. And this is the source of the synchronism that we operate in our civilization, because we are in a constant state of what you call the gestalt, the aha moment of self-realization, where things come to you and are fully understood. Within 1 second, each second, you are obviously always being downloaded with new information. You are obviously capable of tapping into whatever it is you are on the frequency bandwidth of. So Epiphany allows for those revelations to happen in the mind, for those insights to occur very smoothly and very naturally, for you to be able to really see the interconnectedness that exists within creation. And this is what gives us the ability to actually see the structure of existence itself in such a clear way that we can just describe it to you as an actual instruction manual to follow. So it is the epiphany energy that gives us that ability to see the very bones of creation itself, the structures, the ratios, the proportions, the energies, the frameworks, the geometry, as it expresses itself throughout multidimensionality. This is how we see things because of that state of epiphany, that state of knowingness of who we are as an expression of existence itself. Now, these spheres are, in your terms, each about 75 miles in diameter. They are composed of the typical nanometallic crystalline substance that our ships are also formed from, and it is that substance that has been tuned to these pitches in such a way that allows for these frequencies of consciousness to immerse our planet in that bubble of energy that allows us to expand through synchronism and evolve and become the quasi-physical beings we are today, where we exhibit qualities of physical reality but also exhibit qualities of spirit and are evolving into the idea of a non-physical expression, as eventually the humans of your world will do when you have arrived at that point in the evolution of becoming the sixth hybrid race. Now, the idea also, just so you understand a little bit of the history, and some of you may have wondered where the names themselves come from and why they are not necessarily represented in the Essassani language itself. Well, I remind you that the grays that created our world and created the structures of these spheres were actually mutated humans from a parallel version of Earth, on which also one of the predominant languages was English. Therefore, in their natural language, they named these three spheres in the language you understand, because they come from a reality that used to be very similar to your own. So that is the brief history of these spheres and the function that they provide in our reality to make sure that we would not slide down the path of negativity that the Greys experienced in destroying their version of Earth and having to mutate themselves as humans into the Greys in order to then realize the creation of the hybrid race that would allow their culture to survive. So we share with you these vibrational energies of the three spheres by using, as we have said, your own moon as a resonator, a very specific resonator that it has been geared to be by another race we will not talk about yet. But that resonance can be used by many for a variety of purposes. And in our connection and relationship as family with you, we have utilized that resonance of your moon to act as a lens for the vibrational frequencies of these three spheres to come through as a triad energy, to bathe your world and make those vibrations accessible to you to also tap into, so that you can use them as a stabilizing influence, if you wish, and a permission slip that allows you to understand the balance of the polarities into the center point of the Trinity, and also to give you the opportunity to expand the probability of having your own gestalt moments, your own aha moments, your own epiphanies in life that can allow you more insight and more clarity about the actual nature and structure of existence itself, of which you are obviously an expression. And it will thus give you more insight into yourselves. Does this make sense? Yeah. All right. So, as you then go about your day, from this point forward, just know that that vibration is here. You are immersed in it. It is combined into the triad frequency. And all you need to do is just, in whatever way works for you, tap into the understanding and the knowledge and the awareness and even the memory of what we have said today about these vibrations working in harmony and in concert with one another. And it will be easy for you to allow synchronicity to increase in your life, and to know that as soon as you see and experience synchronicity in any form that is relevant for you, you are standing squarely and immersed fully in that triad vibration of the three spheres of intelligence from higher dimensional levels that is perfectly accessible by you. And in that state, at that moment, use it as a reminder that that is the state from which to act on your passion in life to get the strongest, most impactful, most powerful outcome, no matter what it may be, that will serve you in the best possible way. Does that make sense? All right. We thank you for allowing us to share these ideas with you and to share with you the vibrations and energy of our civilization and our world, to allow you to better understand your own world and the choices that you have made and the consequences therefrom. So we ask in return for the gift of sharing you have given to us, how may we now be of service